Welcome inside the fish tank, everybody. I'm Andrew Sperator, as you all know. Today, unfortunately, my two co-hosts, Thomas Walsh and Nick Vasella, were not able to join us. So it will be me and our special guest, who will be our number one fan, and he is Vincent Gagliardo. How you doing today, Vincent?
Hello,
Well, AKA
everyone.
Gags.
Hello, everyone. What's going on? I'm Vinny. People call me Gags. And yeah, I'm here to talk some fantasy football. Um, Big fan of the show, and I'm very excited to be a part of it.
All right. So he's got to fill in the role of Thomas and Nick. Do you think he can handle that?
Woo! I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know I got to call someone a clown today. So,
All right. I guess we'll get right into it. Today we got our week four review. We got calm and concerned. We list a few players, and we're gonna give our opinions on if we're calm or concerned about them. And we got week four winners and losers. We're each gonna name 3 winners and 3 losers. So to start it off with calm or concerned, Lamar Jackson is our first calm or concerned player who did not practice today with a knee injury. Are you calm or are you concerned?
I'm calm, not concerned at all about Lamar Jackson. Um, Guy's an absolute monster. I think they're just he doesn't he doesn't need to practice. He's quarterback one every week, and I think they're just trying to rest him up. I think who's he versing this week, Lamar? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals. So good matchup there.
Be
I'm gonna,
calm on
ha-
Lamar. Be
yeah,
calm on Lamar Jackson.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I think this is mostly precautionary. We didn't see an injury last week, so it must have happened in practice, yesterday or this past week, I guess. So I think this is just pure precaution. I think they're gonna run him out there and he's gonna dominate like usual. For a second player, we have another quarterback, Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons, who played Monday night against the Green Bay Packers, and just he did not look good at all. So calm or concerned?
Guy absolutely stinks. I'm very concerned. Um, he was just not the Matt Ryan that we're used to. The Matt Ryan that we saw on Monday Night Football is absolutely horrendous, and he has the weapons, but just not put into use. And the coaching is not the best either. I think we're very concerned for Matt Ryan.
I wouldn't say very concerned because he, like you said, he does have the weapons. He has the top 3 receiver in the league when healthy in Julio Jones, and he has Calvin Ridley, he's been the number 1 wide receiver up until this past week when he put up a goose egg.
Mm-hmm.
And you can basically limit all on Matt Ryan, who did in fact look terrible. He overthrew him on a number of throws. If he just catches like a couple of those, his night completely changes from a goose egg to probably double digits. Just 2 catches.
Definitely.
So, yep. All right. Moving over to Jonathan Taylor, running back of the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm calm on this one. I think he just got to gain that chemistry with the offensive line. The Colts have one of the best offensive lines out there. I mean, he's having trouble hitting the hole, but I also feel like he just got to gain that chemistry. And I mean, the Colts are giving other running backs some touches, but Jonathan Taylor, I say and see on his skill level that he's the best running back out of the crew, and I'd be calm on him. If you have him as a low RB2, I think you should be calm about him.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And definitely, I'm calm on Jonathan Taylor. So I believe his backups, Naheem Hines and Jordan Wilkins, both got double-digit touches. But I think as the season progresses, he's going to get more and more involved in this offense. I think he's clearly the most talented, and none of the backups are really doing much. They're both averaging like 2 yards per touch, and Jonathan Taylor's out here averaging over 4 yards per touch. So I don't see
He's
how.
he's clearly the best running
Yeah,
back
it's
out there.
clearly the best. I don't see how the Colts don't see that yet, and I think they do see that. They just don't want to, run him into the ground right at the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
So don't panic about Jonathan Taylor. If I would still start him. But if you feel the need to take him out of your starting lineup until he gets his snap counts up, which have been under 50% for most of the year, I can totally understand that. But yeah, just remain calm with him. Now we got Josh Jacobs, running back of the Las Vegas Raiders. Calm or
Um,
concerned?
I'm calm on this guy. Guy's an absolute tank. Guy's an absolute pure runner who can basically do everything. I have a lot of potential. I mean, I see a lot of potential in Josh Jacobs, and I feel like people are just going too crazy on him right now. I feel like that guy. I love Josh Jacobs. I think he's a future star of this league, and yeah, I'm pretty calm on him.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation here because week one he was the number one running back with 3 touchdowns, but he hasn't scored since,
Hmm.
and he also hasn't put up over 14 PPR points, and that's a little concerning. He's getting a decent amount of targets,
He's
three.
getting the volume. He's getting the
He's
volume.
he's yeah, he is getting the volume, but he hasn't really turned that volume into much. His yards per carry over the last 3 games, 3.3, 4.4, which is good, and 3.2. And I think if he wants to be successful, he needs to get those numbers up, because he's definitely a volume reliant back. You rarely see him break off for like a 50-yard touchdown run. So if he gets the volume, if he gets involved in the receiving game, I think he's going to live up to what he was drafted as, which was a first, early second round pick. But as of right now, if you have a Josh Jacobs on your team, you're not too excited about what he's shown over the past 3 games.
I think there's a lot of future. I feel like Josh Jacobs has um, a lot of potential, and I feel like he's gonna get it going.
All right. Julian Edelman, wide receiver of the New England Patriots. Obviously, if you couldn't tell, Gags is a New England Patriot fan. Don't know how that turned out to be, but
Um, Concerned on Elman. That game that he had was absolutely horrendous. The reason why the Patriots lost, and just not looking like himself. Not looking like himself in the past in week 1 and week 2, and not looking like the Super Bowl MVP he is. So I feel like also if Cam comes back, because I mean, if you watch that Monday night game, Jared Stidham was okay for the time he had, but what's his name?
Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer was just absolutely awful.
Yeah, I think awful is an understatement.
Yeah,
You say
gosh.
Edelman lost him the game. I could say Brian Hoyer lost him the game because
Yeah,
twice they were in field goal range. One time he took a sack and they didn't have any more
clock management was
timeouts.
terrible. Oh, and actually,
And
also that ref clown for calling calling him forward progress.
oh,
The
there
Mahomes
were
fumble or an interception. It was a turnover no matter what.
no, there were a
Clown,
couple of terrible calls in that game. Like another one I can
disgusting.
think of is the roughing the late hit out of bounds on Mahomes. He basically just fell over. That
He
was
was trying to like hold him.
that was
He
very
couldn't hold him up.
questionable. Yeah,
Disgusting.
but
But
anyway, Julian
that game,
Edelman, like you said, he dropped that pass, deflected right into the defender's hands, and he
Tyron
ran it into
Matthew.
the end zone for a pick six. Um, if he catches that ball, it's a completely different game. But over the past 2 games, he's combined for just over 10 fantasy points, and that is concerning. We talked about him on the last podcast. We said that if they were playing a bad team, they were going to be running the ball a lot. But they played the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the best team in the league, and he still only had 3 catches. So there's definitely cause for concern here. He's always a banged up player. He's always listed as questionable prior to the game, and he always ends up playing. So I don't think there's a health concern here. He's also getting very old. He's in his 11th year. So Julian Edelman's days as a fantasy stud might be coming to a close. If not, they already have come to a close. Darius Slayton, wide receiver of the New York Jets. This is an interesting guy right here.
New York Giants.
New York Giants. I'm sorry, Darius Slayton. I would never insult you like that.
Darius Slayton. I mean, I'm not really calm or concerned. He's just a boom and bust guy. not really going to be really anything. I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't be starting him only if you're have a bye week at a flex. If one of your running backs or receivers are out, he'd be a low end flex. I mean, I guess I'm concerned because he's not really anything, honestly, to me. I don't really see him as a great receiver. He has that Tyreek Hill big play potential, just one time a game, but I don't really see anything in him.
Yeah, I'm concerned here. I do think he is the number one wide receiver on the most talented wide receiver, at least on the New York Giants.
Which
And
is insane. Which isn't saying much.
you're right. That was my next point. That really isn't saying much. They're kind of very short on that end of the stick. But they do play the Dallas Cowboys this week, who just gave up 49 points to the Cleveland Browns, including 39 points and 3 touchdowns by Odell Beckham Jr., who we'll touch on later on the podcast. But I think if there's one week you're going to play him and hope for those big plays that you talked about, I think it's this week against the putrid, terrible, atrocious Cowboys defense
Cowboys.
who's just getting torn up by everybody. All right, Zach Ertz, tight end of the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm calm on Zach Ertz. He's gonna end up getting his targets, and I mean Carson Wentz isn't the best quarterback, but Zach Ertz is his go-to guy. He's gonna be looking for him in the end zone. He's gonna be looking for him on that third and long, and just a guy to get him down the field. I'm very calm about him.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm calm or concerned about him. I mean, the Eagles are just so banged up at wide receiver.
Very true.
Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson might both be coming back this week, which is going to be bad for Zach Ertz, who's already not getting enough receptions. But, well, I guess they got a tough next 2 games in Pittsburgh and Baltimore. But after that, the Giants, the Cowboys, the bye, the Giants, Cleveland, and Seattle. So after these next 2 games, I think he'll have a string of a nice, 5 or 6 game streak right there.
They play the Eagles and the Giants, then a bye, and then the Giants again.
The Giants, the Cowboys, the bye, then the Giants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those defenses are not good at all. So
yeah, no, couple good matchups.
Yeah, so I would hold on to him.
Yeah.
And finally, our last calm or concerned is going to be another tight end, Tyler Higbee of the Los Angeles Rams. I know he's on your team. So how do you feel about him?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little concerned. I feel like they're not really. I mean, that 3 touchdown game was insane. I love that week, but I don't know. I feel like he's not getting the receptions. How many points did he put up this week?
5.
Put 5 points. Yeah. How many catches? Yeah.
3 catches for 20 yards.
I have been watching the Rams, and I've noticed that they've been doing a lot of 2 tight end sets with Gerald Everett. And he's been getting some catches, too. I think he got a touchdown last game. I don't know for sure, but I think he did.
Check on that.
But, yeah. A lot 2 tight end sets, and there's a lot of weapons on that Rams team that goes to the end zone. I know they like to do end arounds a lot with Sean McVay's system. They love running the ball with Malcolm Brown on the goal line. I don't know why, but they love doing that. So, yeah, I'm kind of concerned on Higbee, I would say.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned. And going back to your point about Gerald Everett, he did score a rushing touchdown on that end around from last week. And I think the reason why he was drafted so highly in most drafts is because during that stretch he had where he had like 100 receiving yards and I believe it was like 5 games. He had close to that. He had 100 receiving yards in 4 games in a row last year, weeks 13 to 16.
Last 4 games.
Yeah, and that during that span, Gerald Everett did not play, and I believe that played a big role in Tyler Higbee's usage. So, and this year when Everett's been on the field, he hasn't been doing too much besides that 3 touchdown game where you coined the phrase Tyler Higbeast. He's not doing anything, and I don't even know if these are starter-worthy numbers. I mean, 7 points, 8 points, and 5 points. If you have them, I think you need to pick up another tight end. Out there might be Jimmy Graham.
I have Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. Can't think of any other guys off the top of my head. Greg
Thinking of
Olson, if he's still there. Eric Ebron.
thinking of starting Jimmy Graham instead of Higby this week.
Yeah, that's definitely a close call there. But yeah, I'm definitely concerned about him. As you said, there's a lot of weapons in this Rams offense, and it's kind of hard to get them all involved.
Mm-hmm.
So that does it for our calm or concerned players. We will now move over to our last segment. It's our winners and losers of the week. We apologize for the shorter podcast, but we are missing our two of our three co-hosts, so we'll work with what we got. So you want to give your first winner of the week?
My first winner of the week is George Kittle. That guy is just insanely good. He's the Niners' first target, and he's quarterback, good quarterback or not, he's still gonna put up points. Who's the quarterback for the
Nick Mullins. Yeah.
Nick Mullins. Who is that guy? George Kittle is still putting up 40 points. That guy is a monster and is proving that he's a top two. Honestly, for me, I think he's the best tight end in the league.
That could get some disputes, but I agree with you.
I mean, look, Travis Kelce has Patrick Mahomes.
You have a point there. Right? Can you imagine George Kittle in that Chiefs offense? I mean, that would be a sight to see.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Kittle coming off of not playing the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Put up 40 points. I mean, this guy is crazy. Monster week.
Just an all-around beast.
Yep. I will move on over to my winner of the week. It is Cowboys wide receiver. Which one? There's three of them. It's CeeDee Lamb. And this guy who was projected to be one of the first receivers off the draft board, which he was. He went in the first round. He's just ever since he started playing, he's put up good numbers. 5 receptions, 6 receptions, 5 receptions, 5 receptions. Obviously, last week he had 2 touchdown catches. I think if it wasn't official before, it's official now. He's the number two target on this team, behind obviously Amari Cooper. And the Cowboys are just going to keep following the same game script where they fall behind 40 points, then put up.
Dak Prescott airs it out to honestly the best wide receiver core in the NFL.
I agree with you there. So CeeDee Lamb in this offense is just it's a dream come true for him and fantasy owners.
CeeDee's a slot, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, CeeDee. He's not afraid to run over the middle with those linebackers, and he gets those catches.
Oh yeah, and he's really fast too.
I think he's easy flex play.
I think he's
with potential for receiver too.
I think he is a wide receiver too already.
Too?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know. I think it's also because the Cowboys, they're down so much.
Well, I mean, are they going to change that? I feel like we've been asking that question ever since week 2, and it hasn't changed yet. By the way, he is the wide receiver 13 on the year, or wide receiver 16 in PPR leagues, 13 in standard. So
really good number, CD. So that's CeeDee Lamb.
Shout out to CeeDee Lamb indeed. So your second winner?
My next winner is Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson became the number 1 weapon on this team. I don't know. Him and Teddy B just got that deep connection, you know? His stats from his last game was 8 catches, 99 yards. He's getting them that ball. He's getting the targets.
Yep, 11 to be exact last game.
11 targets?
Yep.
He's getting those targets. I don't know what it is, Teddy B and him, but Teddy B hates DJ Moore and loves Robbie Anderson. I don't know, but Robbie Anderson, definitely a high flex play and has a lot of potential.
I don't know how many times we have to repeat this on the show, but people coming out of that Adam Gase offense tend to explode with their real talent showing off. Because Adam Gase is, Adam Gase
stinks.
Should be the next head coach to be fired. After of course Bill O'Brien.
I don't know why he isn't already.
But listen, they trust him. They trust him.
I don't know why.
They've been winning, right? They're undefeated in their last 1 game. No, wait, no, they're not. They lost.
No, they lost. They stink.
Yeah, no, stink is
Jets
they're.
are a joke.
I think that's an understatement. I mean, you can make
They're
a
a
case for them
joke.
to be a high school football team,
They
which we've
are a
said
high school.
before.
They are a high school football team. They absolutely stink.
All right, my second winner is Antonio Gibson, running back of the Washington football team. Why are you shaking your head?
It's because you have them, and I'm
Oh,
benching you. So
oh, yeah. Last week against the Ravens, no one was. I mean, I'd be really surprised if a couple of people started him, especially against the Ravens defense. But he did perform
put up.
well over expectations. He had a few nice big receiving plays, totaled 82 receptions, receiving yards on the day, on four catches. I think Kyle Allen coming in for Dwayne Haskins, which just got announced today, he's going to be a starter. I think he's going to get more targets than he has been getting because Kyle Allen, new quarterback, is going to be checking down the ball a lot. So I feel Antonio Gibson's value increases with that quarterback change. And by the way, Dwayne Haskins is not even the backup anymore. It's
Yeah,
Alex Smith.
it's
That's
Alex Smith.
crazy.
Wow, I cannot. The Redskins. What are you doing, man? At least give
Football
Hack.
team. The football team.
The football team. Sorry. What are you guys doing? At least like give him the season and then try to get a high pick or something.
Yeah, that was just very
You
confusing
guys
to
are.
You.
You guys aren't winning anything this year. Like.
Well, I mean, look at the NFC East. They're one game out, so they can easily play for.
The NFC East is a joke.
It is a joke.
You think it's a little off topic. Do you think an all-star team of the whole NFC East could beat the Kansas City Chiefs right now?
Well, you're looking at the
Dak.
Cowboys. All right, let's just look at the defensive side for a second here. The Cowboys, the Giants, the football team, and the Eagles. I would say they're probably 8 out of the bottom 4 teams in overall defenses right now. So if you combine their defense, I would say they're probably still worse than some of the good defenses out there.
Yeah.
But so their offense, I feel could be pretty good. Just take the Cowboys' offense. That would be their offense.
Yeah.
And Terry McLaurin, who's a monster.
Terry McLaurin, yeah. He's a monster. He's a monster. I don't
Coming
think
soon.
I don't think I can beat the Chiefs though, honestly.
I don't think we could either.
My last winner of the week is Devonta Freeman. Devonta Freeman, the first week he was there, didn't get a lot of carries. But this week he did get 10 carries, I think. I think he also added 2 catches.
11 carries and 4 catches.
4 catches. My fault. Devonta Freeman, he has the talent. He's been out of the league for a little bit, but he's been working. And I think next week, he gets the full Giants backfield. I think he gets to work. Maybe give it another week. I think he gets the full work. And there was, I don't know, I was watching Red Zone, and there was one run where he was looked really shifty. I don't know if you guys know that play, but it was like 8 yard. It was an 8-yard gain. He was looking super shifty. So I think Devonta Freeman, is on the rise. I think he's a borderline flex play.
I do as well, and I think he's a very motivated player. Obviously, he chose to sat out the first 2 weeks in hopes of getting the contract he wanted, and I think he's going to try and impress behind that offensive line that was terrible the first couple of weeks and still is terrible. And if he's able to impress on the New York Giants, I think he could land somewhere else next year with a bigger contract. But the question for him is, he's 28 years old now, which is insane to say that's old, but it is pretty old for a running back in the National Football League. And if he can bring back what he had in Atlanta a couple of years ago, I think that could be interesting to see how that plays out. But my final winner of the week is going to be, talked about him earlier, it's Odell Beckham Jr. of the Cleveland Browns, who he looked very, very, very good last week. He had 5 catches for 81 yards in the air, 2 receiving touchdowns, and on the ground he had 2 attempts for 73 yards and a touchdown. And you guys all probably saw it, but on that last play, it looked like a negative 20-yard loss. And he turned it into a 50-yard touchdown or something like that, probably more. And he just looked like the Odell Beckham Jr. that used to be on the Giants. I think.
Go on.
I think this is a very good sign for him moving forward. Obviously, if you picked him like the fourth or fifth round, maybe earlier, you knew it was going to be a very risky play. You were hoping for his upside to hit, and this week is it's a very good thing to see for Odell Beckham Jr. owners.
I think this is just noise. I think that last run that he had was just lucky. You're not going to see that every game.
Well, I mean, even if you take out that last run, that was probably what, like 12 points right there. He still puts up 26. That's still a very good week.
That's true. But I mean, also the Cowboys defense is just like atrocious.
I think it's a factor of confidence
I
too.
don't I don't think Baker's gonna be able to consistently get him the ball at this
Well,
rate.
Baker only had he had under 200 passing yards, I think. So it wasn't because Jarvis Landry threw him one of the receiving touchdowns,
Yeah,
and the other one was the other one was rushing. So
exactly.
yeah, Baker Mayfield had 165 passing yards.
I don't think Baker's gonna be able to get him the ball at this rate. For him to be a receiver too, I would say, or flex. I don't think Baker has the can do that.
All right.
I have no trust in Baker.
I'm not saying I trust in Baker either, but my trust with Odell Beckham Jr. is starting to build. Okay, that does it for our winners. Now we're gonna go over to our three losers.
So my loser for the week was first one was Brandon Cooks. A lot of people thought Brandon Cooks was the receiver one on the Texans offense,
I did.
but it's just, huh?
I thought he was the receiver one coming in,
Yeah,
but apparently not.
everyone thought he was the receiver one, but as you can clearly see, it's Will Fuller, and he has just not been doing good. He hasn't been getting the catches, he hasn't been getting targets, and he's been a real letdown for people who drafted him in the 6th to 5th round.
Yeah, and that one good week he had came in week 2, and it was when Will Fuller got removed from the game early with a hamstring injury. And other than that, he's sucked. And you can't play this guy with confidence. He should not be in your starting lineup. And this guy's borderline droppable at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So if you still have him, take him out of your lineups unless you want to lose. My first loser is another Houston Texan, actually. By the way, we should be calling these guys winners because they just got rid of their head coach, their terrible head
Very
coach,
true.
and Bill
Very true.
O'Brien.
And GM. I didn't know. I didn't even
And
know they were
you didn't
GM.
know that, really?
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, he the first week he looked really good in week 1 against the Chiefs in the first game of the season, but ever since then he's found the end zone only once. He has he's got 2 catches in each of the last 3 games, and his receptions are his major fantasy production. He's like I would say he's a worse Austin Eckler. And in his prime he was a better Austin Eckler, but now like Devontae Freeman, he's 28 years old.
I don't think you've said the name yet of.
I didn't?
I don't think you said the name.
Oh, I apologize. It's David Johnson.
David Johnson. Right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Houston Texans.
Yes. His snap count was only 55% last week, so that's also interesting to see, as what was supposed to be the clear lead back on this team, and especially against the Minnesota Vikings defense, who has not looked good at all. He gets the Jaguars this week, so you can hope for a bounce back there. But I think he's got a very low ceiling. He's got a decent floor, but if you're playing him, it's a safer play rather than a breakout game type of play.
My second loser is Michael Gallup. I feel like he's just the odd one out of getting the catches. I feel like he's the odd one out of CD and Amari. Amari's been doing great. CD's been doing great, but I don't think 3 receivers can be on the same team can be fantasy relevant. And I think he just has the bad end of the stick.
Yeah, he's arguably the 4th target on this team behind Dalton Schultz, who, by the way, that should be Blake Jarwin for any of you Blake Jarwin guys out there. Rest in peace, him. But as a guy who drafted Michael Gallup in the 5th round, this is just brutal. This is just brutal. I mean, they just don't throw him the ball. Him and Amari Cooper look very similar in terms of their size. And every time you see Amari Cooper catch the ball, you think, oh, maybe that's Michael Gallup. Maybe he's finally got a catch. But no, it's always Amari Cooper. So I don't see. I mean, he's gonna have his big games like he did a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think you can start this guy with confidence. My second loser of the week is Darrell Henderson. Not gonna forget to say his name this time. It's the running back of the Los Angeles Rams, who came off of two outstanding performances, averaging 6.8 and 5.7 yards per carry. And then all of a sudden this week, he only had 8 carries. That is just very confusing. And to fantasy owners, it's very frustrating because you don't know
Yeah,
what's going to happen. I mean,
everyone
Cam,
thought. Keep calling.
it's Cam every down Akers, and I, one week it's going to be Akers, one week it's going to be Henderson, and I
And one week's
really,
gonna be Brown too. Don't
I,
forget about
I don't, I apologize. I said Akers. It should be Brown. Malcolm every down Brown. I knew it didn't sound right.
But yeah, everyone thought Darrell Henderson was gonna be the one going to this week, their main back. But they just put in Malcolm Brown, and
Cam
he
Akers.
did most of the work.
That is
Um,
correct.
so are you done with
Yeah.
Okay. My third loser is T.Y. Hilton. Um, I was actually very high on him. I would have drafted him if I had the chance, but he just isn't getting separation and is not getting not playing like the old Ty that we love and
Let
know
me
and love,
summarize it for you. He is old and done.
basically. Especially with Phillip Rivers there at quarterback. I don't know. I don't know if any of you guys think this, but Phillip Rivers to me absolutely blows.
I I can't disagree with you.
I mean
This
like
I mean this
every throw he throws so weird. Like what is up? Have you seen? Do you know that? Do you know what I'm
yeah,
talking about?
he's a sidearm.
The guy stinks. And yeah, no,
Well,
he's not in the. He's not good.
he's
Just not
done.
good.
He's done.
He's done.
This Colts offense as a whole, I think, is just very, very bad. And I know if Nick was here, he would call Frank Reich a gutless puke. But I'm gonna say it for him. Frank Reich, you're a gutless puke. And the way you handle your running backs, it's just very confusing. We said this earlier.
Absolutely
Jonathan
terrible.
Taylor is clearly your best running back. Why are guys like Nyheim Hines getting double-digit touches when you have a guy like Jonathan Taylor who rushed for 2,000 yards last year in college? I mean, but we're talking about T.Y. Hilton.
Don't
T.Y.
get it at
Hilton, he shouldn't be in your lineups. He
all.
should have been taken out of your lineups last week if he was still
He's
in your
droppable
lineup.
too. He's
I think
droppable.
he is droppable. So if you're looking to drop someone on your team, drop him. Okay, one last loser of the week, and it is going to be a name we all know, a name we said before. It's Julio Jones. I hate to say it because he is one of the most exciting players, and he was one of the most exciting players. But he's just been plagued by injuries. Even last year, he was injured. I don't recall exactly what it was, but he played through it. And some of the numbers didn't look too good last year, and they certainly don't look good this year. He exited the Monday night game early against the Packers. The week before, he didn't play. And against Dallas 3 weeks ago, he only had 2 catches. So, guy as old as
Including that drop ball in the end zone.
yes, that was really a shame. And you don't really normally see those in a guy like Julio Jones, but
Mm-hmm. You usually see Julio go up and grab that thing. You know.
mm-hmm. So a guy who's 31 years old and suffering with a hamstring injury, I don't know how he's going to be able to bounce back. I think he's definitely a risky
Um,
play if he does end up playing this week.
I feel like he's not gonna end up playing this week. The Falcons are smart enough to know that to let Julio sit for another week. They have Calvin Ridley. They're good on receiver. He does, but I mean, if he does go in, you put him in your lineup. It's Julio Jones. He always has that upside, you know.
Speaking
Um,
of speaking of coaches who should be fired,
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn should be gone.
He's a gutless puke. He stinks.
All of the above. Gutless
Mhm.
puke, clown, moron,
Yep.
all of them.
Coming from a Julio Jones owner, very disappointed in what he has brought to the table since I traded for him. But I honestly have hope for him, and I feel like if he sits this week, I feel like he has a bounce back week. In Week 6 against the weak Minnesota defense. Quote me on that.
We'll quote you indeed. And that does it for our show. I want to thank you, Gag, for coming on in
No problem.
short notice. And
It's a great thing you guys are doing, and I'll continue to be a number one supporter.
yes, number one supporter right here.
Uh-huh.
As for our co-host, please show up next time so we can.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on. All right, thank you guys.